Obviously, when you took over the last two programs, you didn't have a transfer portal. The Toledo job, you kind of came in a situation where you were currently on staff. I would also say you didn't know what the heck you were doing. You're 31 years old, and a lot of people, you guys may say, I don't know what the heck I'm doing later on at some point anyways. But the reality of that is, that was its own experience. I think the Iowa State experience certainly helped. It was very similar. You kind of came in, and again, I think sometimes you can have a sense of ego and entitlement sometimes in coaching. You guys probably know that, where you think you have all the answers, and the reality is you don't have all the answers. And I think what Iowa State taught me is you have to go in and you have to figure out what was going on. What are the positives? What are the areas of growth? And how do you make the right moves moving forward? And I think that's what I took, that I learned from my Iowa State experience into this experience, that you don't have all the answers. You certainly know who you are and what your vision to build a program is, but how do you know what are the right moves until you know where they're at, where we're at, and where we need to move ourselves forward to? And so, I think that's probably the carryover similarities taking over here. But I think the difference, obviously, was probably the player acquisition piece. How do you build a current team to move forward? How do you build a foundation? And again, there's probably some areas that you wish you didn't have to deal with, and then there's probably some other areas you're really grateful that you had the ability to deal the way we were able to deal with, to build the best team we possibly could to move ourselves forward. And this team's got to be a great foundation for the vision forward of Penn State football.